Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network. I'm Jeff Brightwell alongside Doug Clark. And Coach, you kind of through the preliminary part of your season, getting ready for the American this weekend. So let's take a look back at this fall. Talk about just kind of your general thoughts on your men's and your women's programs.
Well, I think as far as the season goes, both teams have definitely progressed. We didn't lose anybody off the men's team. We got a couple of kids that came in that are both in our top 9. And then everybody's running faster than we were basically last year. And then with the women, we only lost Louisa Lingley, who did a great job for us for 4 years. But she's been replaced by a very talented freshman who's basically running exactly the same time as Louisa was. And then everybody else has improved. So I think both teams are definitely improved. I think the one thing you figure during the regular season, you're going to maybe have some head-to-heads with other teams in the conference to kind of gauge things. And I figured out this morning we've raced about 150 teams, and we've only raced one AAC team the whole year, which is Cincinnati. And our women, thumped them pretty good, and our men lost by 7 points in a 350 athlete, 52 team meet. So I'm basically going to be comparing times at other meets on different courses in different conditions, and trying to determine where we think we can place at the conference meet. But I think I've done a pretty good job of that. So I've been telling the team about that for the last week.
You've had some very strong finishes early in this year. Your men came in first over at Rhodes, 6 up in the Commodore Classic for Vanderbilt. Women were 3rd at Rhodes. They had a fairly strong finish at Vanderbilt as well.
Yeah, well, I'm really happy with how the team has done. It's just we don't really have a sound way to compare us to the teams in the conference. But again, comparing times at different meets and different conditions, it looks to me like in the men's meet, Louisville is prohibitive favorite. They might go 1, 2, 3, 6, 7 or something like that. But then after that, I think it'll be a really close competition between us and Connecticut and Cincinnati. Houston's kind of lurking in the background. They got a good guy they on the roster that haven't run all year. So if they decide to activate him, that'll make a tremendous difference. On the other hand, he could be redshirted for the whole year. I don't really know, but I think it'll be us and Cincinnati and Connecticut. And on the women's side, SMU and Louisville will probably have 9 of the top 10 placers in the individual. So they're definitely going to go 1, 2. And then after that, it's we're in the mix for 3rd, 4th, or 5th.
You've talked about going up this weekend to Stores. You've never seen the course, but what you understand, it's a very flat course. Now, we talked before we went on the recording of this program that I guess in the back of your mind you think, well, great, it's going to be a flat course. It's going to be fast times, but it's going to be fairly flat for everybody. Still got to go up there and compete.
Right, and I think, all the cross-country runners, all track runners for that matter, they want to run faster times, but you can't fall into the trap of being happy with the time. And like you're saying, everybody else is running faster, too, on a fast course, and then, place well. So I think whether it's slow or fast, hilly, cold, hot, you just got to go up there and you got to be a competitor. And I think that's the main thing we need to do going into the meet, because times don't matter, scores matter.
Conditions could play a factor as well. Going to be in the 60s, which would be very comfortable, I think, to run. You'll deal with a little bit of rain, though, up there, it looks like.
Probably. I've learned not to trust the weather forecast too far out, but there's showers in the forecast last time I checked, which was yesterday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so that's a pretty broad window, so I think we're probably still going to be in it while we're up there. And hopefully it won't be any really, really heavy rain that'll make it super sloppy. Mm-hmm. But, again, some people get bent out of shape with bad weather. If you do that, then it's going to cost you. So we just need to stay focused no matter what the conditions, no matter what the course.
Obviously competing, trying to finish as high as you can, run your good times are the primary goal for this weekend. But you also have a looming coming up on the 15th, the NCAA South Regional in Tuscaloosa. So you want to have a good foundation coming out this weekend before you send some people down to Tuscaloosa.
I agree. And I think, any time you run good now, it gives you confidence for later. And I don't think, we're to the point with our program where we're contender to qualify a team for nationals, but I think, I always joke that you can't qualify for nationals at conference. We get to the point where we're good enough to do it, we're going to have to do it at regionals. So I think it's good for our younger people, everybody on the team, to give you this scenario where you run conference and then regionals 2 weeks later, and we'll be better prepared for that as we get more experience at it. We do have 2 individuals on the men's team that I would say, James Magelsang and Dan Kuhman I'm speaking of, that have an outside chance to qualify as individuals. It's very challenging, but they're close enough we can talk about it. And like Dan was all region last year, and reasonably close, to qualifying as individuals. So I think that's something both those guys are looking at. Last year at regionals, Dan had the upper hand over James, and our last meet, James is ahead of Dan. So those guys are, they're our top two, and they've been doing a great job. And you never know who's going to be our number one guy, but I think both those guys have a chance definitely to go in there and try to qualify for nationals as an individual.
Coach, as you look ahead here to the American this weekend and the NCAAs, as you reflect back on the time you've been here at Memphis, how far has it come since you've gotten here?
Well, on the men's team right now, I believe that our 9th guy is faster than our first guy was in 2009. Mm-hmm. And if not 9, maybe 8 for sure. So, I mean, that says a lot. I know, the first year here, I don't believe any of the women ran faster than 2020 for a 5K, and we've got 5 or 6 under that this year. So it's definitely progress, but there's definitely still a lot of room to improve. So I'm really happy with it. I think one thing that's really helping us with this is we've gained a lot of credibility both locally and regionally and even internationally in our recruiting, where both teams are competitive. So we have a lot better product to advertise with when we're recruiting, and I think that's a huge plus. And then right now, I know I can't comment specifically, but our recruiting is going really, really well this year, and I think that's in large part due to the great job that both the men's and the women's teams have done the last 2 or 3 years here at Memphis.
Well, it sounds great. Coach, best of luck this weekend and as you go forward throughout the season.
Thanks very much.
That is Doug Clark. I'm Jeff Brightwell. This is the Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network.